Okay, that should be working. There we go. All right. A little bit of a mix-up with the time here, but I'm now Jamie. Yeah, what are we going to do today? So I'm going to start a new project, kind of based on an old project. And what I'm going to do is, let's go to recents. Actually, no, let's do this. So a while back, I did a katydid, and it was a fun project. I've done a couple katydids, but I've decided that I want to kind of revisit this one because they're one of my favorite insects. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a stylized version of it. So let me pull up my reference and I'll show you what I mean. So a while back when I was teaching a class over at Gnomon School of Visual Effects in Hollywood. I did this katydid as a demo, just a quick demo, and what I did is I kind of did like a stylistic cartoony version just for fun. So this is sort of, I guess, like a Pixar version or something like that. So not photorealistic, which is what I normally do for insects. So I thought it might be fun to kind of revisit this this concept, maybe with a different species of katydid. And so another katydid I did was more of a realistic version, and this was for a VR project I did for an Italian university. It was all about life in a tree, and it was kind of a fun project, and I actually had to do this for real time, so it was for a Unity model basically. And so what I want to do is I want to take this model and make it more of a stylized version of the katydid and see what I can improve upon versus the one that I did a few years ago. So let me start by these textures that you see on here. These are just the UV check textures. So I'm going to go down to the texture map, and let me find Subtool. I'm going to turn this off, and then I'll go up to Subtools, and I'm going to hit Apply Last Action to all Subtools. That way I don't have to select each subtool and turn the texture off for each subtool. And I'm just using a slight variation on the standard interface. I just put some of my favorite buttons down here, and this is ZBrush 2025. Hi guys, thanks for showing up and watching my live stream. I apologize I'm a bit late because I kind of messed up the time change here, but it's a new year, so chances to make new mistakes always welcome. So I'm a big fan of Illumination, so I just put a little bit of inspirational, just quick web search on some of their artwork. I don't know if this is exactly what I'm going to go for. It might end up being a little bit more Pixar. But this is kind of like the color scheme that I'm taking for this particular insect. And for this one, this is B. vincentinus. That is the Barbies, no, I can't pronounce this. Well, you get it, it's a katydid. So let's go with that. They're kind of like related, similar to grasshoppers, you know, distant cousin of grasshoppers. So you can kind of get that kind of grasshopper kind of feel there. So what I might do is start with maybe a ZSphere version of the model, and I'm going to set this to all low. And then I'm going to do a merge visible, just so I have this as kind of like a 3D reference. And what I'll do is I'm going to append a ZSphere here and turn on transparency. Let's turn on X symmetry and scale this guy down. So E for scale. Let me switch over to this shader right here, and this right here is the thorax, so I'll use that as the center of the model. And I'll just start by kind of blocking out a Z-sphere based on this, and then I'll make it a little bit more stylized. And let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. And okay, cool. So I'll just I'm going to press Q for the draw Z-sphere and draw a Z-sphere there. A lot of times when I'm doing an initial block out for insects, I will use Z-spheres. They're nice and old school, and they're a great way to get something going really quickly. I'll do something like this, and then Q, and draw that one right there. And my draw size a bit smaller. That's a little bit better. And I don't do like all the little, details like the antenna and the eyes and the mouth parts with the Z-spheres. I'll do that later on. I just basically do the main body parts. So the head right there. And then abdomen. And I'll just add Z-sphere right here. And scale is E. Push this down. What I should do is I should get some reference from Bugs Life, because that's the classic cartoony movie. Even though it's full of massive inaccuracies. But whatever. It's a kids movie. I still like Bugs Life. Never really liked Ants, the DreamWorks version with Woody Allen and Sylvester Stallone. That movie just bothered me. I mean, aside from the many errors about ants, it's just, I don't know. To me, it was just not an entertaining movie. And I found the design kind of really unappealing and unpleasant. The character design. Not that, and also, ants they're all females, so Woody Allen was not the right choice for the main character. Unfortunately, if I was directing one of these movies, it would end up being like a documentary. Here's a really cool documentary you can find online that I always mention, which is the Nova special, Ants, Nature's Secret Power. That's a great one. Listing. These guys have really cool feet. I'm working on a couple projects right now for some clients. I can't really show them, but they use scan data, which is also a lot of fun, but has its own challenges. I don't think it's any easier, except for the fact that if you don't have good reference, scan data is really nice for making sure you have all the proportions correct in the body parts, but it takes a lot of cleanup to get it looking nice and behaving. And you can still, there's a lot of schmutz you got to clear off with scan data, and that can always lead to errors. You're not sure if something's actually supposed to be there or not, and you end up putting like some dead schmutz in this part of your insect body. So, like I say, it has its own challenges. Hello, Aya and Mr. Cake and Irene. Hope you guys are having a good night. And I hope if you're in LA, you're safe. Fires are no fun. I have a lot of friends who are affected by them. Not to mention the wildlife. Alright, I'm just blocking this guy out real quick. That is good. And looking at my reference here, I'm kind of intrigued by this super spiky guy. Let me see where to put him. Well, this guy is adorable right here. Look at that. That's already a cartoon character. These are all pictures that I found online. These are my original model. But the other ones are just from Google search. So that's from Fine Art America. So this guy is kind of goofy looking. I kind of like him. See if we can find some more pictures of him to base this on. Just to make it look different. And I still have to finish my longhorn beetle that I started last year. It's in some of my live streams. It's at a kind of a point where it's very slow, so I might actually just do some work on it, record it, and post it on YouTube. You know, just to get some of the slow stuff in a time lapse, and then come back and finish it up for the live stream. Because a lot of it is just sitting there, just noodling with detail, which can be really not the most exciting thing to watch for a live stream, but it's great for time lapse. How many of y'all have been trying ZBrush on the iPad? I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. Let me know if you guys are having any issues with the audio, because I have a new microphone here, so I want to make sure that's actually recording the sound properly. Okay, so we have kind of a block out here. Like I said, I think what I'll do is I'll save the mouth parts for part of the sculpting process. So let's take a look at them with this solo mode, and if I hit A, that's what we have is our Dynamesh. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to try, I think I might keep it as Dynamesh. Let's see, if I turn off Dynamesh, I'm going to hit A for adaptive skin, set Dynamesh resolution to 0, A again, and this is what it looks like with adaptive skin. What's cheating? ZSpheres? Or sculptors? Let's see. And of course you can go to classic scanning. Nope. I might do Dynamesh. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to mess with proportions now. That's what I meant to do. Make this look a little bit more cartoony. So what I did for this original one is I kind of squished everything. I made the legs a bit bigger and squished up the body into one big ball, because spheres are kind of cute. I gave them little itty bitty wings, and of course the little buggety eyes. Of course, these little black dots are not actually pupils. That's an optical illusion created by the Ommatidia. So normally when you're looking at a bug, like a praying mantis, if you see a black dot on their eyes, that's not a pupil. It's like a false pupil. It's basically, you know, all the compound eyes are made up of Ommatidia, which are like these long, narrow cones, and they're all stacked together to create that familiar hexagon pattern. And so when you're looking directly at them, you're looking straight down the cone, so you get this little spot of darkness in that area where the cones are kind of facing you. That's why if you're looking at praying mantis and you move around, it always looks like he's watching you, but he's not really. So, you know, in this cartoony version, I kind of took advantage of that and make it look like they're pupils, but in reality, these should be looking directly at the camera all the time. But it's cute, you know, it's a cartoony version, so. And this guy does have the mouth parts. And this right here. So, let's see. Okay, so I think I'm going to do something similar, and I'm going to kind of start moving this around a little bit. The other thing I like to do is drop my reference to the canvas. So there's two different. Whoops. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go over here, swing it a little bit, and do Shift S, and that drops it to the canvas. And then maybe Shift S over here, and then switch back to my ZSphere. So just so I, lose too much track of what I'm supposed to be looking at here. And then maybe I'll make the base bigger. That, and then kind of like I did before, maybe exaggerate these legs a little bit. Since these guys are related to grasshoppers, it's good to give them nice big legs. At least the back legs. I lost my original cartoony model. I don't know where it is. It's on a hard drive somewhere. This a bit bigger. Let's get this down a little bit. Let's see. I kind of like this one. Yeah, I made the front legs a bit smaller and the back legs a bit bigger, so maybe we'll do that. Holding the Alt key there, kind of as you're moving it, kind of help with positioning. I'm going to give him a default pose for now. Later on I will give him more of a pose, like a natural pose. Make this even bigger. Make it ridiculous. Why not? Hunchback kind of thing going here. Big head. Okay. I think in this case I'm not going to do Dynamesh because everything's going to fuse together. So move this forward a little bit. And we'll do an adaptive skin. Like that. A little bit further apart so not fuse together so much. And then what I can do is try adding a couple of ZSpheres here. I'll move these up like that. Going to fix that in Sculpt. That's kind of cool. Okay. Let's start with that with our base. Mouse clicks are very loud. Okay. Well, I'll switch to using a pen. How about that? And then you can see if that fixes it. It's a new microphone setup, so I'm not quite used to the audio here, so I apologize if it's a little bit too loud. Let's do this. Okay. We'll do Make Adaptive Skin. We'll append that to this. Right here. And this will divide it a couple times. Clear off these guys and just kind of start blocking in some ideas here with the clay tubes brush. I might switch over to doing Dynamesh once I kind of figure out how I want this to look. Bring down the Z intensity. So I'm using the TW clay tubes brush, which is a brush that I got from Tomas Wittelsbach, who also does live stream. And he has some great brushes. When he does his live stream, you can see if you can get some of his brushes from him. He does a lot of jewelry stuff and everything. Let's see. Interesting. On this one, I didn't have the kind of. I have this, but I didn't have the kind of typical katydid shield. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing back then. I just chose not to do it. But this is what I'm talking about. That you see a lot of katydids. Pronotum, I think that's what it's called. It covers the wings. It's right here. It's kind of cool. It gives you kind of like a collar look. I'm just going to pop that in here real quick. And maybe I will figure out where my eyes want to be. A little woolly bug eyes. That's too big. Look at this dude. I'm going to start by doing kind of a face like that. I'm not being as scientific as I normally am because this is more of a cartoon guy. So he's going to probably end up being like an amalgam of various different katydids. One thing I always note when you're designing bug-like creatures, it's good to remember is you want your bug to look cute, put the antenna above the eyes. If you want the bug to look scary, put the antenna below the eyes. These guys are like in between, but I want this guy to be kind of cute, so I'll just do like this. So that's going to be basically where the antenna come out. And you might have a little bit of an ocelli here. Well, we can do that for later. So just block this in for now. And he's got little chubby cheeks, which is one of the reasons I love these guys. Something like this. Oh, that's the inflate brush. No wonder that's acting weird. Let's go back a few steps because that's kind of weird. Yes. Just kind of drawing this on here, kind of figuring out what these bits are going to be. Those cheeks back. Adorable little buggy cheeks. Oh yeah, there we go. He's looking cute now. My favorite entomologist, photographer, scientist dudes is Peter Nescrecki. He specializes in katydids and also insects that create sound, also bats as well. He's got a lot of really great photography books that are worth checking out for reference. I'm pulling up here real quick. There's a website called The Smaller Majority, and this is where a lot of his books are. His photography is amazing. I've been in a couple photography workshops with him, and he spends a lot of time in Mozambique at Gorongosa. But yeah, Hidden Kingdom is a really good one. You can see we have a katydid on the front. Relics, this one's, I have all of these, and they're really worth getting because the photography is fantastic. You can get them on Amazon or whatever, wherever you like to buy books. But yeah, and then really cool blog here with some great pictures. I think that's one of these bugs that is a parasite on bats, so that gets freaky pretty quick. Cool giant scorpions and stuff. Cool stuff. So check out Peter Nescrecki, smallermajority.com if you get a chance. And You want some good reference books on bugs. He has some of the best. He's an entomologist over at Harvard, but he spends a lot of time in Costa Rica and also Mozambique. Oh, this guy's looking cute already. It kind of reminds me of a little kid on the far side. Let's see. This guy looks cute because his head's a bit triangular, so let's see if we can pull some of that in. Don't lose the cheeks. Yeah, his eyes are also bigger, but I kind of like the eyes this size. Most katydids have small eyes. Oh, I like that. Now this reminded me of something from the oatmeal comic. What I think I'll do is I'm going to chop this off so it's going to be its own subtool. Let me save this real quick though. I'll just save it. We'll just call this cube. Difficult. There we go. I'm using a Cintiq right now. This is a 22-inch Cintiq Pro. It's one of them. I bought it like 2 years ago, so it's 3 years ago. So it's a more recent model. I like it. And then my partner Irene has a Hurion, and she likes it very much as well. So they're both good. Hi, Sophie. And let's see. Oh yeah, the guy's cracking me up. Okay, what I was going to do, I was going to chop this off. Okay, so let's see. I don't really care about polygroups. I'm going to do this. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to go to like subdivision level 3. I don't really care about subdivisions because I'm probably going to dynamesh this, so I'm just going to do delete lower. And this. I'll do a split hidden. So now I have the body as a separate subtool. So I'm going to go in here and let's do a quick dynamesh on this. Let's see. Move up the resolution a little bit. And there we go. And I'm just going to focus on the head for a little while, and then I'll come back and adjust the body accordingly. Let these guys tilt a little bit. I'm going to give him a bit of a bump on the head. And it's cool to have this dude. A little bit. Not totally, but I guess when you're doing stylistically, you have to kind of balance how much accuracy you want to have versus appeal. That's the real challenge of it. I mean, I usually get obsessed with doing things that are accurate, but sometimes realism can be a creative crutch, you know. When you don't have an idea, you can always just try and make something look like it does in the pictures, which is a great challenge and something I actually make money doing. But at the same time, sometimes it's like, I like the challenge of trying to find that line between recognizable accuracy but also kind of a stylistic appeal. I'll probably chop this off into a separate piece as well. This one. Take a look at some of these references here of the mouth. This is actually, it's like one tooth right here and then another one right here. Take a look at my original guy. Get an idea there. Let's take a look at the high-res version. There he is. Do Shift S and then go back to this version right here. Let's see. It looks like he has a mouth there, even though the supports are coming out like this. So you can take advantage of that, make it look like he had a big old happy smile. And this I can do away at. Space over here. For now. And then you have this coming down like this. I've done several tutorials for the Gnomon workshop. I've done one on sort of insect design. Well, I've done the Maya series for the Intro to Maya series, the past few versions. And I did one on insect design that had a wasp. That one's a little bit old because I use Octane for rendering it, but it still has a lot of insect anatomy in that one. And then I did one on the orchid mantis. Let me pull up the page so I'm sure what I'm talking about. Since you just gave me the opportunity to plug my stuff, thanks for walking into that one. The Gnomon workshop. Do browse by instructor and then Here we go. So I have my hyper-realistic insect design, which is wasp, and I did this creature modeling, which is orchid mantis, and that's rendering in Marmoset. They just came out with a new version of Marmoset, so this is a little bit dated, but still works just fine. I did one on jumping spider. This is also ZBrush, Redshift, and Yeti. And then I have my Maya series, and then I just released the intro to Maya 2025 UV Toolkit. And I've taught it Gnomon before. I taught intro to Maya, intro to ZBrush, and creature design there as well. And I also have my own YouTube channel. Look up Blucatone. I have a bunch of insect stuff on there, as well as press live streams. And let's see. There we go. Let me cute. I think I made these too big. Let's throw some antenna there. These guys have really long antennae. And what I'll do for the antenna, I could go about this a couple different ways. I think what I'll do is I'll append another ZSphere. And shrink it down. Oh, cool! I'm glad you enjoyed the creature course. That's the was that the insect design one? I will be doing a lot more teaching this year. I had to take a break for the past few months, so I'm getting into it more. So, in addition to doing the live stream every week, I am doing something for the Gnomon workshop right now. And also last year I was granted Master Trainer, ZBrush Master Trainer status by good folks at Maxon. Thank you, Ian and Paul. And I'm going to be, later this year, I will announce when I have a better idea, I'm going to be offering a course, an online course. If you want to get certified in ZBrush, I have the power to actually grant certification. So I'll be doing a course that, it'll be an intensive course, several weeks, with both video and live sessions for a limited number of students. And the end result of the course is you will have official certification as a ZBrush artist. I know for some people it's really helpful in getting a job. Some markets do require certification. So I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff. So you can apply it to many number of fields, whether it's games or film, or I've done like jewelry design and that kind of stuff, 3D printing. So I'll keep you. Right now I'm just starting to design the course, so I'll keep you up to date on what I plan to do with that. And let me know if you're interested in it. Okay, so the way I have these guys is they're kind of just swooping up here. Actually, I'm going to go back to this one. there. Oh, cool! Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm really I think my favorite of those is the Mantis one, and I start from ZSpheres and ZBrush, so it goes through the entire sculpting process. And I talk a bit about Mantis anatomy, and then in the insect one, the hyper-realistic one, I go through a lot of insect anatomy in that one as well. They're both good, but I'm fond of the Mantis because I just really like the way that one came out. I think, actually all three of them. The jumping spider, I also start with ZSpheres as well. That one I talk about using Yeti for fur in Maya, which I gotta get back into, and rendering with Redshift. Let's see. Okay, so let's say I want to do something like this for my antennae. I think I want to make them kind of exaggerated. And let's see. R for rotate. And this one. Okay, so there's a wide variety of different insect antennae with katydids. They tend to be kind of just straight up sectional, like sausage pieces, I guess. Let me see if we can find a nice higher resolution version of it. That's pretty good. They're not super detailed. Very thin and just simple sections there. So I'm just going to keep them all as one piece. That's crazy. I might make these guys closer together though. Yeah, the Noma Workshop has a whole bunch of new stuff on there that's really cool. There's a few that I need to watch. If I ever get around to learning Houdini again. I keep learning Houdini and then forgetting it, and then years later I'll learn it again. And then I'll forget it again. And then I'll learn it again. Okay, let's do this. Yowza. Okay, so there's the root here. That's Q. I was kind of switched to mouse by habit when I'm doing ZSpheres. There we go. There we go, that's the problem. Very good problem. What we'll do is do that, and I'm going to also do adaptive skin on this. So if my Dynamesh resolution is 0, adaptive skin, it's a little easier to control in this case. Okay, and I'll choose make adaptive skin, and remember it makes a copy of the tool and sticks it up here, so I need to append that copy. The skin ZSphere. this one, and we'll just get rid of the original ZSphere. And let's save this. I hope my insects aren't triggering you. So now what I'll do is let me get rid of these, right? So delete hidden. Actually, I'm going to do that subdivision level 1. Zoink. Oops. Delete hidden. And now I can do close holes. Alright, let's delete higher levels of subdivision, geometry, delete higher, close holes. And one of the reasons I like doing this case, not going straight to Dynamesh, is I want to make these nice and thin. So just quickly hit the smooth brush. Bend in there. Very light with the plate brush right here. Low to the low. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. To the low. It's a cool name. Okay, probably obsessing with this a little bit too much. And let me use this blue material. Maybe subdivide this a few times. I don't know if I'm worried about the detail just yet. Worry about that later. I'm going to bring down my smooth brush intensity a little bit. I'm just blocking this out. So what I'm going to do is leave that alone for now. What I'll do is I'll make this part right here a separate part. So I'm going to go right here and select the last one. That. I'll do another split hidden. Go. Up my head, and just do a quick Dynamesh just to close it off. I can add detail of that guy later to the head. And let's go to this part right here. Dynamesh. Try not to spend too much time on any one part when I'm just blocking things out. Hi Anish, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. No, I used ZSpheres, but Q-mesh extrusion is a great way to do that as well. I've used that in the past to do long sort of looping things and antennas, so that works well too. I just use ZSpheres for the heck of it. Nice thing about using the Q-mesh is you have a nice even topology. Well, you do with ZSpheres as well. That's a good way to go about doing it. It's funny, I mean, I'm using Maya since 1998, and I love it, but these days I'm doing a lot of poly modeling in ZBrush with the old Z modeler. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I can switch to sculpting very quickly that I just like it better. Maya always feels kind of sterile to me, where ZBrush is like a little friend. Well, he's a big friend now these days, I guess. Here we go. Kind of a fashion statement here. Let's bring the body back and play with the proportions here, because now he's gotten a little bit small. I think what I'm going to do is let's cut off the legs. So I can just focus on the body, because I'm going to fix the leg proportions later. So just Control Shift click on these. Switch back to this guy. And I'm going to do split hidden, because I don't remember where I put the button. Sorry. Try that again. I'm going to delete lower, so what's going on? Oh, you know what it is? I'm messing with the ZSphere version and not the polygon version. Gets me every time. There we go. Let's get rid of the ZSphere version. Let's make sure this one's okay. Okay, that's what's throwing me off. Sorry about that. I just delete this guy and just save next. Save. That's a great example of why you might want to use Q-mesh as opposed to ZSpheres, because ZSpheres has that annoying thing where they, when you convert it to polygons, it comes in as a separate tool and it gets confusing. So, good case for a Z modeler, Q-mesh extrusion instead of ZSpheres. But I like the fact that you can block out Z-spheres really quickly, like the whole bug. Okay, now let's do a split hit. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to, let's see, let's just close holes for now. Not going to worry about the legs. I'll turn on the head and the antenna. And this over here. Oops. Let's mess with the proportions here a little bit. Bring back that big belly. Thorax. Let's get the clay tubes here. Just alright, I'm not too far there. We got the wings back here. Little bitty wings because they're adorable. Just a little bit my reference here real quick. It's interesting that I didn't have that part there. I like the spherical body here. I mean, I did kind of a weird thing with the abdomen on this. It's kind of pointing down. You can't really see it in these views. Oh, that guy. Kind of like this kind of shape. Okay, let's tubes. Just kind of shaping this a little bit more. I had the reference on my other screen. And I'll probably break the abdomen off the thorax, but for now I think I'm going to keep the abdomen and thorax as one piece just so I can work on their proportions together. is where the leg's going to come out from. Let's take a look in perspective. Oh, he's so cute. Look at these little chubby cheeks. Reference. So we have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments here. They kind of crisscross. Let's have a good side view. This is a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that might be one of the easier ones to tell. Here's a good side view. You can kind of see, I mean, they're like up here, there are definitely discrete plates. You see how they're a little bit more nebulous down here in the abdomen. Something that happens on flies a little bit. You have like hard parts, but you also have softer parts. So it's not complete hard exoskeleton. It depends on the bug. Like if you look at honeypot ants, are a really good example of a bug where the abdomen is very flexible because they can fill up the entire abdomen with honey. You're going to see this because it's kind of crazy. I was actually looking at some of these in a live ones in a display at a museum recently, and they're just totally nuts. So this is an ant, so you can actually see the tergites here. These are the hard parts of the abdomen, just kind of stuck on the end here. Look at how big this is, man. This is crazy. As it's just swollen up, seriously swole. So, in some cases, bugs definitely do have flexible parts. And they pop in your mouth. Oh, there's this really cool artist that basically feeds the ants a different colored sugar liquid. That's basically what this is, and then she takes pictures of it. It's very cool. Anyway, so I'm not saying that our katydid does that, but you can see how we have this hard part that blends into a soft part here. And then these look like hard parts right here. I believe this is a female. Right here. And then we have the wings coming out on top. And some cool details that are always hard to see in the thorax. That's a pretty good version of thorax. This is where things get tough if you're trying to be accurate. For this guy, we're being cartoony, so we can get a little more. So, I'll leave this open right here. And then this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 segments to the abdomen. What I might do before I do anything else, though, is let's do this. Oops. I'm going to add the wings just so I have them, because it's kind of like a nice placeholder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this bit up a little bit. There we go, some of that. And then for the wings, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something really quick and dirty. No, not dirty like, you know, just paint a quick mask here on the surface. We don't want them to necessarily touch. Let's look about this. And then let's do mesh extract. The Subtool palette. Extract. It's too thick, so let's bring this down to like 0.05. Extract. Accept. And then I'll go in here and clear the mask. Do a quick smooth. Do a quick Dynamesh. And set it on resolution. There we go. That's good. Now I just have some wings so I can go in here and because these things look like pancakes anyways. So I'm not going to get super technical with them, just get something going real fast. Like that. And maybe I'll do just a super fast zero mesh. Even lower. There we go. And I'll just come back and deal with this ones later. But now they're kind of there as placeholders. Okay, because that's going to help me kind of figure out how these, where the thorax ends and the abdomen begins. And the wings is kind of a placeholder. So it looks like, I'm going to say that we have, this looks like the beginning of the abdomen right here. I'm going to count this as the thorax right here, all this mess. So in that case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 segments. Starting about midway under the wing. So I'm just going to kind of draw them on here real quick. And I will eventually make them their own separate pieces of geometry for each one. But for now, I'm just going to block them in, put them in place. Tubes. Let's bring up the resolution of this sucker a little bit. And we'll just kind of fill these in a little. I think where this is going to be a lot of fun is the poly painting, which I won't get to tonight, obviously. But since these guys are so colorful. One bug that I really like to do that I've never gotten around to is a scorpion fly. So it literally looks like a scorpion mixed with a fly. A really wacky looking insect. Yeah, it's kind of wild how they blend in here. Like this. I'm going to define this first. We'll figure out how I'm going to blend these in here. I might not worry about that just yet. That does make a case for not splitting these into separate geometry though. And have a nice smooth blend here. Like this. It's kind of interesting because now here, up here, they're nice and flat and tight. You have a hard edge. It kind of just squishes into this. Well, I don't know. That's interesting. The thing I like about this is this shape into the abdomen like this. So it has this kind of slope. I think what I'll do is bust out the old Damien standard brush and just tighten this up a little bit. Oops, the depth right there. Get the laziness out here anyways. I was talking to somebody the other day, a friend of mine, ZBrush artist, about the days of Projection Master. The old days, the old Republic. And we used to have to do all our detailing in Projection Master and then just cross our fingers when we left projection master the details are actually going to project correctly. We even have that one vertex that's off like 1 billion miles away. Like over here, and you had to hit her with a smooth brush and smooth. Get it all the way down. That was always fun. But I forgot they added this, where is it? Drop 3D. I can't even remember where it is. Drop 3D option, where you can actually use. Here it is right here. I'm going to save this real quick because this is really interesting. I'll just take a little bit of a tangent here. Rest my eyes from looking at the bug. And I'll just play with this for a second. I'm going to go in here and give myself a plane. Nice old plane. Low poly. Nothing special here. Because I know they added this like a year or so ago, and then I had a mental note to use it, and I completely forgot about it until I was talking to a friend of mine the other night about it, and they reminded me, drop 3D. Oh yeah. So if you go into document and I say drop 3D, let's see if this will actually work. It's like, so I'm going to leave edit transform mode. So I'm going to choose switch, and this is going to allow me to use the good old 2.5D brushes, these guys right here. I can use any of them. I can use the helix brush here and just draw with a little helix. And then go in here and let's use, let's actually go in here and use simple brush, line, square alpha, and this. I'm going to go brush, document drop 3D, and pick this up again. It's 3D again, but remember that was really low resolution, but you can see it definitely has resolution here. It's projected on here because it's using projection master. I'm going to clear the mask and turn on wireframe, and you can see it's actually subdivided just in the areas where it needs to add that detail. This one's got a little extreme because I used these brushes. It's really interesting for hard surface. Just a weird little tangent because it's, you know, a lot of times when they add new features, I'm always like, oh, I got to start using that, and then I get wrapped up in something, and before you know it, like 6 months goes by, and you completely forgot that that feature was added. And even worse, you're like, wait, what is that button? Where did that button come from? Or, gosh, I wish ZBrush was able to do this, and then you find out ZBrush has been able to do that the whole time. You just haven't been paying attention, or you forgot about it. This is interesting. So I got a copy right here. Makes like a copy of it. Interesting. Why do I have two? I don't know. Let's go back to what we were talking about, which is bugs. Back to various theaters. I'll go in here and say brush. Reset the brush. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's turn off solo for a second. Let's save this guy. Oh, look at that. That's just awesome. I love this guy already. He's going to be so much fun. Then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the thorax from this part. So I'm going to go in here with the select lasso brush and do that. And do a split hidden. And come down here for the abdomen, and let's go for Dynamesh. Just real quick, leave that where it is. Now let's see what we do about the thorax. Do Dynamesh on this. This one's going to be a bit trickier, so maybe we'll take a look at my 3D model. I need my original Katie did and see how I did the thorax in that, because this is a few years ago. Let's save this guy. Let me save next. And that's kind of helpful. So we're going to do this. And Shift S there, and then, oops. Shift S there. That way I have kind of a 3D reference here. Just make these little leg sections here really coax that come out. Yes, thank you. There you go. The thorax of insects is one of the hardest parts because there's always very confusing detail, and it's also very different depending on the type of insect. You know, like a bee or a fly or something like that could be really very, very different than like a beetle or a katydid or a mantis, so each one comes with its own surprises. So I'm getting away with a murder here because I can do a cartoony version and just say, well, it's supposed to look cute. But I don't want to have it be a katydid, so I don't want to stray too far from reality. Also, I like these little cool wrinkles and stuff. I am working on a cartoony version of a katydid, which is type of, kind of like a grasshopper type one. This is an actual photograph of one. And then a long time ago, I did a model, sort of a cartoony version of a katydid, sort of Pixar style or whatever. So that was done really quickly way back when. So I thought I'd revisit that for a new project for this year. And so I got my reference here. Making a little bit of like illumination, although none of these look like what I'm making, so let's ignore that. But I'm taking reference like this little dude and this little dude, and just trying to make something kind of cute. And yeah, well, I love books too. I find them very inspiring. So that's what I'm doing today. So, and so I blocked it out using ZSpheres, and right now I'm cutting out in sections and then using Dynamesh for each of the sections, and then just kind of blocking in the detail roughly as I kind of work out the design. And you can see I gave him a cute little face. I haven't done the mouth parts yet or anything like that. Just a rough blockout. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to finish up here in about 20 minutes, and then I'll be back next week at the same time. Hopefully I'll be on time this time, because I messed up the time zone today. So it was about an hour late. Kind of freaked out because I was getting ready, checking my settings, and then double checked my calendar, and I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be doing this an hour ago. So sorry for this up. And it's just thorax. I'm just going to get this in here real quick. Worry about the details later. I think this one is as hard as a fly. Flies are hard because there's so many soft and squishy parts and weird little details in the thorax. The beetles are, depending on the beetle, can be super hard because everything's hidden in overlapping plates. Dragonflies are hard because they have sort of exposed muscles on the top of the thorax that are difficult to kind of sort out. This one's not too bad. I'll leave it there for now. Here you go. Let's control N, and what I'll do now is take a look at the legs and kind of block these guys in. So I'll do one pair of legs at a time. See, here's the back legs. I'll do split hidden. And then here are the middle legs. Split hidden, and then we have the front legs. Let's take a look at the back legs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to Dynamesh, but I kind of missed a little section here, so I'm going to do insert mesh brush for the sphere. Little block of clay. Little mask. And then let's do a Dynamesh. That works. And these guys have cool back legs, depending on the Katie did. They're kind of like, let's see, put on the side view here. That's actually rendered by model. Let's use actual reference. Here's the real thing. They got spikities, which I always love. So they got this kind of a fat part, looks like a baseball bat. Right here. and then the joint, and then it goes down this, and then have cool feet. I might just steal the feet off of my already built one. And then the coaxer here looks like this globular mess. It's okay. So, we'll just make the baseball bat shape here real quick. Plate brush. Plate brush. There we go. Lobby part right here. The coaxing. Joints. It's kind of narrow. Like I said, I'll worry about the foot later. I'm just going to steal the foot off my one that I already built. That's cheating. But I built it before, so. So I'm just drawing a line here to kind of define the shape. This is the right place and the right size. Maybe it's slightly exaggerated in terms of size. Look on the fat side here. I think that's okay. See this. Hello, Mr. V. All right, now the ZBrush here. I'm just going to define this a bit more. Maybe add a little bit more resolution. Kind of shaping this with a plate tune brush, kind of like sanding it down to get the kind of paddle shape that I want. Is chop this into further pieces. So what I mean by that, I know I'm talking to myself. So I'm gonna, this is already kind of in the polygroups that I want. Let's turn off mine for a second and turn on this material. Yeah. This is already kind of the polygroups that I want. Do this, tweak that, this. I'm just making polygroups. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to redynamesh with the groups button on. And then let's put these into separate parts. So dynamesh, turn on groups, redynamesh, and then you can see now I've got a nice closed surface between each of the polygroups, so I can smooth that. And just keep that button on, so every time I redynamesh, I keep that separation. Again. Excuse me. And then I had my mask by polygroup settings. I'm going to pull that up. That way I can work on, keep this all as one subtool, but work on one polygroup at a time. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at my guy. I think I kept this pretty simple. This model, like I mentioned earlier, this model was used for, I should just steal the legs from this model. This model was used for a real-time VR game, so the detail is somewhat limited. As you can see up here, the knee joint is really cool. Is there a career specializing in creature insects? Yeah, I'm working on it. Most careers in CG these days, it's hard to say. I mean, my personal career is like a patchwork of a lot of different things, which I kind of like because I like variety. So sometimes I'll be working on title sequences for TVs or movies, or sometimes I'll do VFX for movies or TV or whatever. Sometimes I'm working on scientific visualization. Sometimes I'm doing all these things at the same time. Like right now I have several gigs going on at the same time that I have to kind of split my schedule up. So I'm working on some insect models for museums that are based on scan data, and they're going to be 3D printed. So I've done that before. That's a lot of fun. Then I'm doing some teaching, and then I'm also on a break right now. We're just coming out of Christmas break, but I do have some jobs lined up and doing like title stuff. Sometimes they combine, and so for example, I worked with Filmograph on the title sequence for Wednesday, which I'm very delighted to say we got an Emmy nomination for, but I did a spider and a fly for that, among other things. I also get to animate like a thing and all that kind of stuff. But that was like really useful because I was able to take my insect and spider knowledge and directly apply it to something that's entertainment. And then I've also done like planetarium shows. And like I said, this original Katydid model that I'm worked on years ago was for a grant for it was for a VR project for an Italian university. I actually got the job through Peter Nezgrecki, whose stuff I was showing earlier today. So, it'd be awesome. I'd be perfectly happy to do nothing but insects all day, but it's just it's not quite there in terms of being a full-time 365 whatever day position. So a lot of times I'll get calls from clients I've worked with before, or people who know my stuff and recommend me. And I always like doing stuff for museums, anything that kind of helps further scientific understanding and research and that kind of thing. I hope that answers your question. I started specializing in insects a few years ago because it was a topic that I was very interested in. And I'd done a lot of scientific visualization, so I was very used to working with scientists on a variety of projects. Although I was doing a lot of cell biology and that kind of stuff. Scientific visualization. And I did some bugs and I got really into it. And then I started reading some of E.O. Wilson's books, and I love E.O. Wilson's stuff. He's a great ant scientist, one of the great biologists of our time. He passed away a few years ago. And that really inspired me. And then I realized that there just wasn't that many people in the industry specializing in insects. So I thought maybe I should focus my efforts on that for a while. And it's been a lot of fun and continues to be fun. And then I got into insect photography as a way to research and learn about bugs. That's taken me to all kinds of different places. Like I got to go to Mozambique a few years ago, like 2018, 2017 or so. That was a really fun trip. I haven't done a photography workshop in a while though, so I hope to do one again soon. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is, since I'm sort of coming up on the end of my section here, let's just take a look at what I've gotten so far. So, I got a good start going, cute little bug. I'm going to continue this one next Friday, so keep an eye out on the ZBrush calendar, ZBrush Live calendar, and I'll make an announcement. My Instagram is bluepatone01. Let me show you my website here real quick. So this is my website. Oops. Bluepatone.com. Right here. Then check out my portfolio, and then links to some of the DVDs I've done. And then we did, like I mentioned before, I have a number of titles on the Gnomon Workshop: Hyper-Realistic Insect Design, Creature Modeling. This is the one with Orchid Mantis. I really like this one. So yeah, and this is rendered in Marmoset, which is very cool. And I have a spider one on jumping spiders. This is rendered in Redshift. And then I have my Maya series on UVs. This doesn't have anything to do with bugs, but it's the UV toolkit. I basically go through every button in the Maya UV toolkit, so it's useful for that. And then I have some courses on Udemy you can check out. I'll pull them up here real quick. And I'm going to be doing some more pretty soon. Oops, that's not. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. Check out Udemy. I have a course on ZBrush materials that talks about standard materials, MadCat materials, Redshift materials. If you want to get into learning how materials work, you can check this one out. We also have, this is called ZBrush for jewelry designers, but it's really a fundamental ZBrush course, sort of geared towards sculpting for 3D printing, but it covers all the basics of ZBrush fundamentals. And then I have one called Understanding ZBrush Geometry, which goes through the difference of Dynamesh and Nanomesh and Z-Remesher and subdivision services, and it's like broken down by chapter. So if you always want to know what's the difference between any of these things and when do I use them, they have some pro tips and all that kind of stuff. So this is a good one to check out. And so I have those, so check those out. And also my previous live streams are available. And I'll see you guys next week on Friday. And let me move this over here. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you all later. Glad you enjoyed it. And this guy will just keep getting cuter and cuter, I guarantee it. Little kitty dance.